Now, once upon a time when we wired something up, even residential, we expected it to last 100 years, but now we have these controls. So, I'm adding a three-way switch, a single pole double throw switch. It can either be connected this way or this way. When it's connected in the auto position, which is this way, it's going to power up the BZ50 and therefore our low voltage controls. Also, it's going to power up the hot side of the BZ50 relay contacts, and if the low voltage controls trigger the system, it's going to go out to the switches for the lights and power them up. However, if we flip the switch, and this is hot coming in all the time, if we flip this switch, the BZ50 has now lost its power, and we are basically bypassing these relay contacts and putting the hot straight down to the light switches. So this allows you to override. This would be auto and this would be on. And the reason you need to do this is because this is residential, and probably within 35 years either the power pack or one of these occupancy sensing devices is going to break, and so we always want to make sure that the people can turn the lights on by just putting it in manual operation. So basically this is our widget ready to go. We've got our three-way switch installed. This is going to bolt on to an existing double gang box that has a adapter for a single gang Decora type switch that's existing in the garage. This is free to move, and I don't like that, so we're going to put a little bit of RTV, some silicone underneath it, and tape it up against the side of our assembly and put a few tiny dots of hot glue on it, because we don't want it moving or getting knocked off by somebody, but we do want it to come off eventually if it breaks and we need to take it off, like pry it off of the knockout with a screwdriver. So before we do that, let's test this. Okay, so here's what our assembly looks like set up for testing. Never want to install anything without setting it up for testing first, because you're likely to be finding yourself out pulling it back out from wherever you put it in the first place. So, going to power the thing up. We have our ribbed side of the zip cord attached to neutral, and our hot coming into the box with the switch up. We have a powered up power pack. You can see the little red light. And here's our load on the relay. And if I connect the hot to the control line of the power pack, it fires. Alright, so that's working. If I flip the switch down, you'll see that the load comes on and we lose power to the power pack. So all of this is working. This would be your bypass for servicing anything out on these low voltage lines, and this would be your normal operation mode where the occupant sensing system is going to be turning the light on and off. So our assembly is going to mount to a existing electrical installation, and then this, the low voltage box, is going to be mounted to a stud. The latching relay is going to go in here with all its connections. This is fairly safe stuff. Now we want to cover these wires to protect them from abuse, but they're pretty safe. This is class 2, and how do we know? It says it on the manufacturer's equipment. It says class 2 power supply. That's how you know you've got a class 2 circuit. We also have a plate that's going to mount between a couple of studs. Bring the wiring in from the top of the plate, seal it, Here is going to be our microwave motion sensor peeking out of the plastic box. This will be recessed somewhat up into the studs. And then finally we've got our infrared motion sensor. This will either mount to a stud or on a wooden plate, and it's going to be oriented so that this cuts across the door. So it's going to sit up on a wall. This would be a wall sitting up there. This is going to cut across the door of the area. Now, because we're really interested in the response of this motion sensing, this motion detector, microwave type, and also because it's being installed in a neighbor's house and they know where I live, we're going to go in and attach this on a long length of wire like this and find the best place to place it within the area prior to mounting it on a plate and putting it in for real. So we're going to go and look to see where it gets the best coverage, because we have that luxury.